Our first artist is David Bogus. He received his MFA from the University of Nebraska-Lincoln and his BFA from the University of Massachusetts, Dartmouth. He's included in the Youngie International Ceramic Biennale and has been a resident at the Roswell Artist in Residence Foundation. Currently, David Bogus is assistant professor at Texas A&M International University. Please welcome David Bogus.
Good morning. My name is David Bogus, and I hope everyone has enjoyed being in Providence this week, as much as I have. My lecture will focus upon the concept of identity. It is informed by places that I've lived, people whom I've worked with, and experiments with process and materials. My creative process is cultivated through identity exploration, self-discovery. My practice is a combination of risk-taking and experimentation. It includes both the artistic process and a constantly shifting personal narrative. Places inhabited, people encountered, and investigations of materials and process influence content, giving forms to my concepts of creative identity. My artwork explores personal history, nostalgia, and cultural implications with an impulsive narrative. The Optimist Luggage initially employed suitcases as a symbol for my nomadic lifestyle. As time passed, the suitcases came to symbolize the baggage I carry internally from difficult life situations. My work takes what is personal and transforms to a universal concept. Each work has the ability to be interpreted differently. Utilizing design principles and color theory, the suitcases have a superficial, attractive exterior, while the interior contents have purposely been obscured. Investigating patterns from fashion design led to decal and screen printing experiments. My most recent work employs cigarette lighters, symbolizing my struggle with nicotine addiction. Initially, I utilized them as test pieces for the screen printing and transfers and decals. While working with them, it occurred to me to display them in plastic bags, similar to a detective who collects and organizes clues to a case. These graphic surfaces add a layer of complexity, paralleling my changing identity. The history of place is a source of content and motivation behind my discovery of ceramics. I was raised in Somerset, Massachusetts, and this has profoundly affected my identity. Some of my ancestors were Azorean, hailing from the Portuguese islands in the Atlantic Ocean. After abandoning the whaling fishery, they were attracted to the thriving textile industry of neighboring Fall River. That's how you say Fall River. I was fortunate to receive a comprehensive ceramic education at Somerset High School under an inspiring educator and potter, David Robinson. As a teenager, ceramics intrigued me, combining math, chemistry, history, writing, and creativity with the physicality of a hands-on, real-world experience was both exciting and captivating. Menemsha is a small fishing village located on Martha's Vineyard. As a young man, I would depart from this port to go fishing, and recently it has become a place to return to on special occasions, like my honeymoon. Menemsha employs nautical symbols related to both my past and present. The materials and imagery are derived from earlier work, but also connect to this location. In a similar manner, dependent attachments utilizes anchors as a symbol derived from personal history, as well as representing the concept of being attached or weighted down, like a job or a spouse. While making this piece, stacks of bis anchors lined the studio shelves, and that began to intrigue me. I started glaze firing and fusing the stacks of anchors together. Reworking color schemes and stacking configurations, the process of piling them became an expressive possibility. Next, I glaze high heels and boots into stacks, installing the boots in a suitcase previously employed as a pattern for mold making. Typically, I work with several sculptures and installations simultaneously. The larger overall composition plays with color, line, shape, variation, and pattern. Paired with my evolving imagery, each new piece influences my perception of the preceding works. As time passes, I view my work in a progressive perspective. In 2007, I was a grantee at the Roswell Artist in Residence Foundation. At that time, the residency lacked a ceramics facility. This required me to adapt to alternative processes, and it was an exciting challenge. I began casting concrete utilizing rubber molds. It marks the first usage of casting multiples in my process. This significantly augmented the possibilities within my practice. Barfly is a functional installation included in the permanent collection at the Anderson Museum of Contemporary Art. At the conclusion of this residency, I moved back home to Providence. I rented a private studio in nearby Pawtucket and continued experimenting with my mixed media and ceramics. I focused on retablos using similar techniques and processes developed while creating my bar. My inspiration came from experiencing the work of Ken Price, especially Happy's Curios. After the Curios, Price's work in the 1980s became highly colorful and architectural and returned to a more intimate scale, inspired by living in New Mexico. This work influenced discoveries and necessitated a transformation of my ceramic components and their presentation. In 2010, while serving as a sabbatical replacement at the University of Wyoming, I focused on developing more sustainable studio practices. I started slip casting and using low-fire glaze techniques with a lively and colorful palette. This progression ignited significant discoveries while presenting new sets of technical challenges. People and places have played a key role in determining the subject matter and content within my work. These journeys have introduced me to creative individuals such as educators, artists, and chefs. Over time, these relationships shape my practice. Recalling and reflecting on past conversations influence what I visually communicate. A great example is the one-month residency in Joseph, Oregon. For me, it was a time to really concentrate on this new casting process in combination with the color of a new glaze palette. I've resided in vastly diverse regions of this country, growing up in New England and now residing on our country's southern border with Mexico. My current position at Texas A&M International University has provided the stability necessary to focus and expand my current body of work. The resources provided by creative project grants have allowed for the exploration of my new pieces, while at the same time helping to exhibit the ones that are existing. It is a privilege to work with students, helping them discover what their identities are and what that means for developing and fostering their work. One of the things I like to stress to students is to research contemporary art and work that they connect with. I became interested in Jeff Koons because of his concepts that reference identity. I admire his work for the variety of ideas that he has, the diverse materials he uses, and his tremendous success in appealing to popular culture. The Fisherman is comprised of oversized hooks hung from the ceiling, hovering over colorful high heels. The concept was derived from a Chinese proverb taught to me by a colleague during my time in graduate school. It presents two ways a person may eat. The hunter stalks his prey, but the fisherman waits for his catch. This metaphor reflects upon life's obstacles. One must wait for the perfect pairing to be revealed, teaching the importance of patience. The gallery becomes an extension of my creative process. It informs and it redirects. Intuitively, I embrace composition, responding to how the work occupies each space in a unique way. My installations are fluid and ongoing. I continually add components to increase scale, variety, complexity. Creative problem solving in the gallery space fosters new breakthroughs and keeps me invested in the singular object. Understanding my identity fuels experimentation within my practice. Initially, I produce work for the purpose of identity exploration and self-discovery. Success in my process allows me the freedom to explore new ideas and to take risks. Observing my changing identity and utilizing creative problem solving, I stimulate my growth as an artist. Thank you. Thank you. I'd like to thank all those who made it possible for me to receive this honor today, especially Jane Schellenberger. I am both humbled and appreciative for the opportunity to share my work with you all this morning. I would like to thank each of my professors, Karen Doherty, Christopher Gustin, James Lawton, Peter Purnell, Gail Kendall, and Eddie Dominguez. I would also like to thank Bruce Dainer for giving me my first opportunity out of college. Special thanks to Candace and Tilden Bogus for 37 years of support. And last but not least, I'd like to thank my best friend, Angela Carbone. I love you more than all the fishes in the sea, hon. Safe travels, happy trails. Thank you, everybody.